I'm a co-founder and CEO of a very small startup, and we are kind of experimenting stuff. That was just a little gesture that actually blew my mind. You don't want to regret your work, your life's work when you are in your 60s, 50s, 70s. You don't want to do that. What is the difference between an ordinary engineering student and a student in an IIT? The real competitor of you is no one but you yourself. A rancho will always take responsibility of whatever is happening with him in life.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. On behalf of the Student Development Program Department, I'm thrilled to welcome you all to this exciting career guidance session. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Shantanu Sontakke, co-founder and CEO of AI Apocalyptus, a researcher and an auditor. He has built an inspiring career and is here to share his valuable insights with us. In this session, we'll explore 6 powerful lessons from college life and dive into Rancho's framework, a game changer for shaping our careers with clarity and confidence. So get ready for an enriching experience. I want this session to be interactive one. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. Take them up during the question answer session. And now, the movement we have been waiting for is here. Let's give a big warm welcome to Mr. Shantanu Sontakke. Sir, we are excited to learn from you today. And now the stage is all yours.
Thanks for inviting me. It's really great to be back again in college and interacting with students. It's always been like a fun thing. A little bit about myself, like you definitely introduced me, but to let you know a bit more about who the person is in front of you. So, definitely, I am a co founder and CEO of a very small startup. It's basically just a website right now, and we are kind of experimenting stuff. I'm also a part time YouTuber, and this is a channel called Shan's Travels, where I kind of capture my message about work, travel, and meditation because it's like remote work right now and how to do work life balance and travel and fun things related to that. So you can also check that out later. Getting back to the session, I just want to start by sharing 5 simple stories that shaped me as a person who I am today. These 5 stories are not to give you easy answers. No, this is actually to give you a reference point so that you start asking questions. Okay, questions that would lead you to the truth that would be the part of your solution to the problems that you are facing and the challenges that you are facing in your life today and maybe also in future. So, related to life and career, that's what I am here for today. Starting with the first story. So, most of this, like all these 5 stories, are from when I came to the college. So, I was in the information technology department, and that's where my journey began. The first story, this was when I was in like sitting in a lab session, and we have this practical coding sessions, and it was one of the first times when we were coding, and your professor kind of had given these questions, these coding whatever assignments you have to do, and we were all working on that. I was just sitting here working on my code, and I just got stuck at a small problem, and I was not able to get a solution to that problem, and I was just sitting there waiting for and trying to brainstorm what can I do. I was new to all that stuff. That's when, like, a student sitting beside me, he was furiously coding, and I could see that he was really good at coding. For apparently no reason, he peeked and he said, "Are you stuck somewhere?" He noticed that I was stuck there, and he told me, "Tell me what's the problem? Where are you stuck?" And he started looking at the code, at my code, and started to tell me hints as to how I could solve it. And he helped me debug, and that's how I progressed. That was just a little gesture that actually blew my mind. So Why do I say that? Why this little gesture had blew my mind there? The thing here was about knowledge sharing. Okay, so the place where I took education and I was brought up was a place in Maharashtra, and it was a very competitive place. It was like an education hub. To give you an idea as to how much competitive the education was in my school, was that during 10th standard, the highest marks, I guess it was 5 or 6 subjects, you get 499 marks. The girl had got 499 or 498 marks out of 500 in CBSC, and she was called by the Prime Minister during the Republic Day, and the Prime Minister had met. She was from a school, and there were other two students in another year that had got first rank in Maharashtra in 10th standard. I'm talking about the 10th standard marks. 10th standard first rank and second rank was from my school. So you can understand the kind of mindset we would be in. So to be very honest, we were not very open to knowledge sharing there. Some things that your parents tell you, something that your teachers maybe tell you, sometimes through your own experiences, we are not open to very like knowledge sharing. But here something like completely opposite had happened. Person who had helped me, it was very clear to him that by sharing your knowledge, you actually also improve your own knowledge. And this was not the kind of exam where it was not an exam, it was just like a coding session lab when we can talk with each other and we can help, so there's no problem in that. So that's the key thing that I learned, that when you share knowledge, when you help others, you actually are also helping yourself. That is kind of like a mind opening thing, like was one of the things for me. I was not sharing knowledge, it was like two conflicting views were there in my mind. Should I share, should I not share, like according to situation. But after this it became very clear that yeah, we should share knowledge. And that's what open source code is. When you will see in this industry, open source code is anyone can see the code, all the knowledge is being shared. Web3 and blockchain is all about open source. So all the code is completely transparent, anyone can see, anyone can contribute. And that's how fast paced innovation happens in the blockchain area. That's a key thing that I learned there. And I eventually became my best friend as well. That was the first story I wanted to tell you about. Coming to the second story. So the second story was influential thing for me in career, which kind of helped me define my career. Actually, I was in my first year, and there was like the 2 year honors program in AI and data science, which was like a special course, a part-time course, which was in the college, which I had taken. So I was pursuing like a 2 years honors in AI and data science. I was in my second year, and I was very much into AI and very much into data science. I am of a person who likes to know about the current affairs also, what's happening in the field, the news regarding that, because I am also kind of like from a background where we read newspapers and we are very much into reading this research stuff, results, and whatever comes out in the newspaper. So I used to read a lot of AI news and stuff related to that. During my first and second year, it became very apparent to me that AI was being used in the world mostly for the things that should not be used for. And personally, I was very concerned about that. I did not want to contribute in a field where my actions are resulting into something that I don't want it to result into. So, to give you an example, if you know about Geoffrey Hinton, you will find I mentioned him in my LinkedIn description of my profile page. Geoffrey Hinton had left his job at Google Brain, if I'm not wrong. He was working at Google, and he's one of the pioneers of AI research. And he wrote that groundbreaking paper on which ChatGPT was based, and all these LLMs are based on. And this 70-year-old guy knows a lot about AI and stuff. And you will find him, he got a Nobel Prize for physics as well. So when people asked him why you left your job, he said because he did not want to contribute to it anymore, and he regretted his work. So the thing that I wanted to share regarding this, like AI was, speaking bluntly, being used in military operations. It was being used like the YOLO. If you also see the YOLO co-founder, which was the fastest object detection algorithm at that time, YOLO 3. The co-founder of it had also left it because he found that his algorithm was being used in military operations in Afghanistan and all. So I didn't want it to contribute to a field where things could result in dark results. Obviously, AI can also be used for good. That was one of the reasons I pasted this link in the chat. This is a little website whose co-founder I am, and we have an ethical AI newsletter in which we cover the good and the bad, both about AI and the rapid advancements happening. It's for free. You can read anytime. It's a monthly newsletter. So when you are in your college, I encourage you to ask, is this really want what I want to do? Is this what I am good at? Is another question as well. You can ask yourself, but you don't want to regret your work, your life's work when you are in your 60s, 50s, 70s. You don't want to do that. No one wants to regret his life's work. Who would really want that? This means you need to become aware right now and choose what your career should look like. Like this is not like a one big choice at once. It is like a little choices that you make at different points of time. So in my college, it was actually one of my professors, which I will also talk about in one of the stories again. He had actually told me about blockchain, and that's when I started working, like attending workshops related to blockchain and doing blockchain courses and all, doing blockchain research projects in college. And slowly I it became very apparent to me that that's where I want to contribute. Definitely it's a very volatile field as well, because if the Bitcoin is crashing, it's in the bear market, there are low projects that are happening and there is low investments and projects coming, so there is definitely a risk there. But for me, it was like contributing to the decentralization, contributing to the open source, and which was I was very happy to live my life in. So I'm not telling you everyone to leave AI or anything like that, but definitely start asking yourself questions as to what do you actually want to do, and start connecting with people in those field, start doing workshops in that field and everything. And I guess you are smart enough to do that as well. Okay, so that was the second story. So coming to the third story. So I actually loved the college. Really, it was really great place. Your college is really good because it is in an IT city and there are a lot of IT companies there. It is an education hub, definitely. And there is also a good startup culture there if you want to explore that. So I was exploring various e-cells here and there, and I was attending one of the seminars in BHAU, if you know. That's the COEP's, what we say, entrepreneurship cell. And there is this person called Nikhil Bhaskaran. So he is the co-founder of IIoT.in. Many of you may have even heard about him. Our department also had an MOU with his company. So he was kind of known to many people as well. So I attended one of his sessions, and I was kind of like, it was also one of the another mind opening sessions for me. So why do I say that? So the thing is that he asked a really critical question in that seminar. He asked, what is the difference between an ordinary engineering student and a student in an IIT? As simple as that. The difference between an ordinary engineering student and and the difference between a student at IIT. What do you think? Like, you can put in the chat, like we can make this a little interactive as well if you want to interact. So I will give you maybe 10 seconds to answer if that's enough. So I think I should say then. So the main difference, like someone said about, obviously they are more intelligent, and he said, no, that's not the thing. Then there are all obviously obvious things that people said. Everyone was students there. Now, why we will say that? How he knows IIT students? He was not an IITian. So how does he know about that? So the thing is that in his program, whatever program that he conducts to take interns, most of them that he takes, like people are from IITs or like from NITs or people who are of that caliber. So he spent a lot of time with them. Aryan is saying that I think there is no difference, but in IIT we get companies there and normal college don't get opportunities. Yeah, that could be a difference, but I am saying that what's the difference between an IITian, an IIT student, and a normal engineering college student? What's the difference between them? That's the question between students I'm asking. Yeah. So, what he said, his answer was that there is no difference except one. There is just one major difference that makes them apart. We were wondering what could be this difference. What he said was the thing about IITians is that they are laser focused, laser focused, and they know what they want to do. And if I'm not wrong, also why they are doing what they're doing. So, an IITian has the clarity in his mind, what he wants to do, and he is laser focused on that. So definitely I come from a background in which I don't accept things whatever that is being said. Definitely I respect all the teachers and everyone, but what the culture that I kind of come from is like we try to verify as well and go through the experience ourselves to see that is it really the truth or not. So I felt like, yeah, is this really the thing for me? Like I participated in hackathon, one of the blockchain hackathons, and there were two IITians with me, and I worked with them. When I worked with them, it became very clear that what he was saying was really the truth, because I could really see that obviously it's not like 100% of the time you will have clarity. You can figure things out as you go, but at the moment when you're doing things, you kind of are laser focused on that completely. And I have found that not just they are laser focused, they are very efficient in working as well. They don't waste time in doing work. They are very efficient, not wasting time at all. So to all the students out there who have a regret in their heart that अरे मैं तो आईआईटी गया नहीं, अरे आई एम नॉट that genius, अरे मेरे life का क्या होगा, ऐसा वैसा. So to all of them I'm saying that IIT colleges are very low as a percentage of population. If you see like Germany for example, they have very good public universities and very much strength, and it's for free, like tuition fee is zero. So that's not the case in India, right? Otherwise we could have like thousands of IITs and people studying into great schools and government IITians. I'm saying that government IITs and thousands of them, and becoming really good scientists, engineers, and so on. But we don't have it here. So anyone who has that kind of regret, I am saying that you don't need to have that kind of guilt or regret, or maybe your parents would have said, or someone from your family. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is the mindset that you develop. You can develop the mindset of an IITian, and that's what matters the most. If you are able to do the work for a company that an IITian can do, and you can prove that, maybe even 70% or 80% of that, that means you're fine. You don't need to have any regret or some kind of guilt inside you. So that was one of the, like, the third story which I wanted to tell, that developing the right kind of mindset is the most important, and give away all the kind of regrets that you might be having of not going to IITs by developing yourself, your skills, and becoming laser focused. And your college is really good in providing all those facilities. It's really good. Then coming to the fourth story. The fourth story is kind of like a funny one. So here I was in the class after second year, this is, and there was a guy, my friend's friend. So he was the friend of the lab guy who had helped me in the first story. So my friend's friend is obviously my friend, so he was also my friend. But the funny thing about this guy was, like, he was definitely intelligent, no doubt about that. He was one of the top students of our class. But the thing was that he used to do some little funny things with me, like maybe playing some mind games, maybe saying something which could make me off balance. It's like some kind of mind tussle to little bit pull me down or something. And it definitely used to affect me after college as well, and during studies as well. So definitely I will not take his name, and I'm not having anything against him. It's just that through this story I want to tell that if you're doing this with anyone, Ask yourself, should you be doing this? Why are you doing this? Like, ideally, you should not pull down others. Okay. The real competitor of you is no one but you yourself. And this is something that I've found true for myself and people around me as well. All our life, we kind of start competing with others. Definitely, there is the kind of competition that we have, that the top 20 in class and everything. That's on one level. But when you go at a deeper level and start understanding who am I really competing with, it kind of should be clearer and clearer that your real competitor is no one but you yourself. So you just have to become little bit better, keep becoming better than yourself, and you will be all right. You just don't need to pull others, you don't need to harm others or be bad. If someone is pulling down, be grateful to him that he's trying to teach you something, how to not behave with others. He's trying to teach you. So have a kind of positive mindset, and that will help you in life, because when life throws challenges at you, going through different challenges in the college, off college, in life, and so on, but always ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? If you ask this question, I'm pretty sure you will get a positive answer. So always learn from whatever you are going through and try to keep making yourself better. That is the fourth story that I wanted to tell. Now, coming to the fifth story. So, this is again regarding the college. So, I told you about the professor. He was actually my class teacher, and he had told me about blockchain. And I was not aware about blockchain until second year, like completely aware about that. So, he had encouraged me to explore that. So, that professor was actually had got a little bit liking to me. I was kind of his favorite student because he said so. And he used to call me Rancho. And why, if you ask, it was because of my college antics. I used to, like, for some apparent reason, try to make people in my class laugh. I used to make professors laugh, but at the same time, I was very serious about studies. So he used to call me Rancho, and it was like a fun camaraderie, a friendly kind of relation that we had. So, what I want to tell you is that this Rancho framework that I was talking about is the kind of this fifth thing that I wanted to tell you. R. So, you might have seen that poster, what that stands for, but I think it should not have been revealed there. It should be a bit mystery. But, anyways, I'll tell you that. So, the first thing I wanted to tell is R means responsible. So I'm saying that you can also be a Rancho, just like Amir Khan was in Three Idiots. I'm nowhere near that genius or intelligent like how much it is depicted in that film, or I'm not anywhere near that. I'm sure there might be some more genius guys here sitting as well, but I'm just telling you that you can also be a Rancho. You can think of this in a fun way and challenge. So the first thing is R, that is responsible. To become a real Rancho, be responsible for whatever is happening with you. Okay. You cannot say that this happened with me. Oh, it happened because of this. It happened because of him. Happened because of her. It happened because of this circumstance or that circumstance. No. A Rancho will always take responsibility of whatever is happening with him in life. He's that kind of like super responsible. I'm not telling you to take burden, but what happens, I will tell you what happens when you think of it like that. The truth about many situations that we go through and the problems that we go through is that it becomes very easy to blame the circumstance, or blame the exam, or blame a professor, or blame another student. I could have blamed that student in the fourth story who tried to pull me down, and I would have told that because of him I got lesser marks or something. But Arancho will never do that because he knows that he has a choice. Okay. And he is taking responsibility that, okay, this happened in my life, okay, but I will take responsibility for whatever I will do after this, or I will do right now. That's the most important thing, taking responsibility of the things happening in your life. Definitely there might be external circumstances that are affecting you. There might be some stress, some family issues, or something in college. Agreed. But for the most part, try to take responsibility of the things that happen around you with you. That's the first thing. The second thing is the awareness. Rancho's A stands for awareness. So try to ask yourself how much aware I am right now. This was one of the things that had been told to me by Nikhil Bhaskaran sir, who was also one of my mentors. He became from this third story, if you remember. How much aware are you around you of the things happening around you? That can be very simple things like, is there a chair beside you? Is there a table beside you? Who is sitting beside you? What he's wearing? What that person is coming from? Where he's going? Like little details that may not matter or it may matter as well. Starting from this to the awareness in the field which you are studying in, what is happening in AI right now, what is happening in the market right now, what is happening with companies right now, the awareness related to your career. And another awareness is related to yourself. What are you thinking right now? Are you aware of that? What are you doing right now? Are you fully aware of that? How are you feeling right now? Are you aware of that? So it can be like it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, or it doesn't matter if I'm not aware. I can work on autopilot, some people say, or like subconsciously. But why I say this matters a lot? I say this matters a lot because our mind has two types. Okay, first is this is the conscious mind. For some reason there are balloons here. First is the conscious mind and second is the subconscious mind. If you see all the researches or even on the internet, you will find that the conscious mind is just of about 3 to 5% and rest is the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind. When the scientific fact is that the mind is majorly subconscious mind, this means that we don't have too much control over our mind. This means that we don't know ourselves completely or we are not completely aware of ourselves. This thing will actually become clearer if you start maybe meditating or starting to understand why you do what you do. Okay, becoming more aware actually helps you take better decisions in life. It helps you become more concentrated, like concentrate your mind faster, because you start taking control over your mind. So you actually are not completely in control of your mind. One of the hints or one of the proofs to that is that if you were fully in control of your mind, you would not have regretted the actions that you took. Everyone here has some or the other regret about the actions they have taken in the past. If like it's very logical or very simple argument here is, if you are fully aware of doing something when you are doing, why would you in this world regret doing it later in future? This means that you are not fully aware of doing what you are doing at that time and later you are regretting. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So I encourage you all to maybe, like, if you're being very stressful or something, try to like 10 minutes or 15 minutes it just takes, you can do some kind of meditation and all. I have this YouTube channel which I primarily started to give this message about meditation. The third you will find, I pasted in the description in the message, that the third thing you will find is work, travel, meditate. So the actually I wanted to tell people about meditation, but people think it might be a boring thing or it's thing of the past, why should I do it? So I tried to make it a little bit more attractive to the present generation, that you are traveling, you're focusing on work, and then you're meditating as well. So the mix of three. So that's the kind of message here. You will find some of the shorts or videos related to meditation that I do here. So try it out. It will definitely help you to concentrate on your studies and the work when you will do in your college. That's the A thing regarding becoming a rancho, the awareness. The N. Let's come to the N. N means the nature. Okay. So this is interconnected with the second thing as well. It is interconnected with awareness, this nature thing. So Nature means figuring out your strengths and weaknesses. Definitely, I remember there were few, I guess, soft skills extra classes that used to happen where we used to fill out questionnaires or try to write what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, maybe take a personality test. There is something called 16 personalities, 16personalities.com, where you can take a personality test and find out what your weaknesses and strengths are in general. So I encourage you to ask yourself what are your strengths and weaknesses are, because that will eventually affect your work and career in a major way. So for an example, I knew my limitations. I knew that there was a certain limit to the time I could sit in front of a computer. It affects my eyes. So I started finding the kind of job that would fit my forte so that I can also do hard work. It's not because I wanted to do easy work or anything like that. It's because I wanted to work hard, but at the same time, I wanted to take care of my eyes so that I can work for a long period of time. Like, yeah. So that was one of the reasons I chose a certain kind of job here. Figuring out limitations and then converting that into a strength is what we have many times heard about. So doing this can really, really help you. And strengths are something like, don't become overconfident regarding your strengths. Your strengths can also turn into a weakness. When it can turn into a weakness, when you start taking pride in your strength. Once you start taking pride in your strength, that's the kind of downfall in that area. So that will turn into a weakness. Your strength will turn you into a weakness. Keep improving your strengths and keep working on your weaknesses, and these personality tests and all, asking what your nature is, can help you out navigate all these complex problems in life. So that's the end thing. Rancho, RANC. C stands for creativity. So be creative, as simple as that. So being creative means thinking out of the box. So one of the ways you can also see in various psychological researches that this thing is actually true is, like, they have found in their researches, which you can verify if this is true or not, is that when you do things differently, for example, simple as picking up this phone, if you pick it up in different ways, okay, not just one way always, your mind will slowly start becoming creative. So the idea here is that your neurons kind of follow the same path again and again if you do the same thing again and again and again. But if you do the same thing but in a different way, your mind starts to get creative. That was one of the ways which I tried to become creative. That could help me in work, that could help me maybe relax to as a creative outlet, that I'm doing something like a YouTube channel, which I have found is one of the creative outlets which I do part time. It's definitely not my day job. So it's very much like to spread some message or do some fun thing. So that's another thing. Try to be creative, and something good can definitely come out of that. It will help you find creative solutions to the problems again. Rancho H, the H, CHO. So H here stands for happiness and hard work. So I've clubbed both this together. So a rancho will, you can see that Amir Khan in that movie is sometimes a very childish thing to do. You can see like children always being happy or smiling, or they are just going into the corner and smiling and stuff. So similar to that, we find this rancho character who is kind of smiling and all. So that's related to the film. But talking about the reality in life is that, like, when you're working, ask yourself, like, regarding your career, is this job actually making me happy? Are you happy where you are right now? For example, you're even chasing a goal. Will chasing this goal actually make me happy or not? You should ask yourself, because that's one of the key things that drives us, or it can have a lasting impression of us. Because if you are doing something and that does not make you happy, then maybe you can end up in a dark place. I don't know. It's not that you should not do things if you're not happy. I'm not saying that. That's an extreme. But in general, it's like, try to become happy, spread happiness. There is a very good quote that has been said by Thich Nhat Hanh. He is a Vietnamese monk, and he is said one of the like the person who taught the world mindfulness. So what this guy tells, like a very simple quote that this guy has, is that sometimes it's like, I'm not remembering it fully, but it was like, because of being happy you smile, but sometimes when you smile it becomes the source of your happiness. Just smiling can become the source of your happiness, is how powerful a smile or being happy can be. It can help dissipate the tension that you have between you and your friends, between you and your family, maybe you and your professors. I'm not saying to mindlessly smile in front of your professor when he is like scolding you or anything like that. That's not the point here. But in general, to be happy, keep smiling, spread happiness. That's what I'm trying to say here. Rancho. So last thing is O. So O means, actually, I don't know what was there in the poster, but O actually means O teri, that Amir Khan says in the film. If you remember, if he commits some mistake or anything, he says Uttari, like this. And he does like a tongue thing like this, that he did a mistake or something. So what this point I want to say here is that when a rancho commits a mistake, he is kind of aware that he did a mistake, and he is quick to admit that he did a mistake. Why I say is this important? Because I have seen personally myself as well as other people as well, that we keep doing mistake, but for some reason we don't maybe realize our mistake, we don't realize our mistake, we are not admitting our mistakes, and we are stuck at one point where for the world we don't want to admit our mistake at all. I am most correct person, I am very correct, I am, this was not my mistake, that was your mistake. This again is related to the responsible thing of the rancho here. It's interconnected, as I said. So there are two things if you observe properly. One is, you think you have not made a mistake, and in reality you have not made a mistake. So I was telling you to ask questions that take you to the truth. What is the truth? The thing is that we think we have not made a mistake, but ask yourself, is this the reality? Because reality and truth is more important than you thinking and imagining that you are correct. Why? Because whatever problems that you are facing, the solution of that will lie in the truth, will lie in you walking on the path of the truth, and you being truthful to yourself and the people around you. A general thing a rancher will do is, if he commits a mistake, he will admit it quickly. And what happens is that it does take a level of awareness as well to see that we have actually made a mistake or not. But even if you generally just try to admit that, okay, I may have even made a mistake, so what is the current output if you think like that? Is that you take that chance and you see that, okay, I may have made a mistake, and you start to improve yourself. If you say, I have not made a mistake and I didn't do that, I didn't make a mistake, you will be stuck there forever. Or maybe there was a chance for you to improve, but you didn't improve and you stayed there, and maybe you committed that mistake again, you made someone unhappy, you made yourself unhappy, and you commit that mistake again and again, and for some reason you are lying with yourself, or you're not aware of that, and you are going into that loophole and rabbit hole and cycle of being unhappy, doing mistakes, unhappy, and so on. So try to break that through that cycle, or by maybe just like a general rule, accepting that, okay, I may have made a mistake, and try to improve. So here the thing comes about ego as well, where ego is the thing like attachment to ourselves, me, things like I am right, and all that thing. Think not just about yourself, also think about other people, because you're not alone in this world, and what you do affects other people. And maybe we are not aware of the levels of effect, like the things, how it affects others. But slowly when you become a bit more aware, or you see this karma, or you can even see the work that Geoffrey Hinton did in the field of AI, that actually affected people as well. The co-founder of YOLO, whatever karma or whatever work that he did in his field that affected millions of people, different countries, different students. That's on a larger scale, but on a smaller scale as well. Try to think about people as other people as well, and try to admit your mistakes so that you can improve. So that's the Rancho framework. That's majorly what I wanted to say. Closing marks, which I want to say right now, finally, is that I would recommend you to read 5 books. Okay, so 2 of them are when you are in college right now, and 3 of them is after college. Maybe when you get time, even if in college, if you are settled, you got a placement or something, you can even start reading after that. So when you are in college, the first book that I recommend is Atomic Habits. Many of you would have known this book as well. It is there in many of the bookshops around the city, around the world. This was also the book that was gifted to my batch students when we graduated. It was gifted to us by the college, and it was a very wonderful thing to see. But unfortunately or fortunately, I had already read that book, so it was the second copy that I had got. But I definitely recommend you to read that. I'll also tell you why you should read that. The author has told, it's very practical thing that he has put in this book. It's about the habits that you make, or the habits that you have in your life. So how to change your habits, or how to improve your habits. You want good habits, you don't want bad habits. Bad habits distract you away from your goal, away from who you want to be. How to develop good habits so that you move towards your goal. That's the thing is about. And it is also very close to the meditation thing that I'm closely connected with, because during meditation also, what we try to do is we try to go to our subconscious mind, we try to make it more aware, and we try to change the habit pattern of our mind. That's what the Vipassana meditation is about, which I practice, which is the most said to be the most practiced meditation in the world. You can do it on the practical level as well, consciously, the conscious habit pattern. It can be as simple as getting up early. The author kind of gives you various ways in which you can do that. And it's like, if you make small changes to your life and to your habits, you will automatically move towards the goal in your life, and you will not need to take too much pressure. If you have the right habits of working, of studying, of improving, then you will be well off. No need to worry about that. So that's the one book I would tell you to read. The second book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So this you again might have heard a lot. For me, this was actually the first non-fiction book that I had actually read during my first year in college. So it was really mind-blowing to me. It was simple book, but what it teaches you is about the financial planning in life. He tells you about the sheet that you can use in your life to chart out the financials in your life. So how the finance actually works, that's the very starting point. In a practical way he teaches. And from that, like, how much influential it was me for me was that previously, before this book, I used to read only fiction, like detective, thriller, mystery novels. I was always into that. But after I read this non-fiction book, it was like I never went back to fiction again. I started reading nonfiction from that point onwards in my college. So that is how much influential it was for me. I'm not saying like completely accept what he's saying or follow. There might be some conflicts as well. But the general thing, what I want to say is that you try to read nonfiction if possible, because there is so little that we know about not just ourselves, but about the things around us, about the people around us, and also the country where we live in. The other 3 books are also related to that. I definitely recommend the second book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. These 2 books were during college, okay? Atomic Habits and Rich Dad Poor Dad. After college, I recommend is the first book is Sapiens. Again, you will find it in all the bookstores. Sapiens, A Brief History of Mankind. Why? Why I recommend you this book is because this was again a mind-opening book, not just for me, but for many people. You can see there are quotes by Barack Obama, by maybe Bill Gates, if I'm not wrong, and other Chris Evans as well, who is the Captain America, who was the Captain America. So everyone has quotes saying that one of the best books he has written. And the author is really very influential person, and the way he describes how humankind came into being, everything from discovery of fire to discovery of agriculture to the discovery of scientific revolution, agriculture revolution, and how it actually affected all our lives. He's a great historian from University of Oxford or something, if I'm not wrong, or Cambridge, Oxford or Cambridge. So I definitely recommend that book. It will help you to open up your mind and to think about the possibilities and to understand the life and reality which you don't or you didn't even think of. The fourth book, now this can be a little bit controversial for people, but it's The Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar, the maker of our Constitution of India. He was not the single author of Constitution of India. There were multiple people, but again, the introduction to this book was written by Arundhati Roy, introduction or foreword. And why I say you should read this book is because you will understand how caste affects us or has been affecting us in our modern times. There is so little that we know about this. Okay, you can think of it like a piece of paper written by someone I don't know of is actually deciding even before my birth how people will interact or how they should behave with me. So the scriptures, or maybe this piece of paper that tells people what my status will be in society even before I'm born. How fascinating is this? So that's the kind of thing, like start questioning things, and that is one of the books I recommend. Is you will start understanding how the caste, like many people once in life at least, you will come across this maybe caste discrimination or equality issues if you are in India, not in other countries. There are Indians in other countries, that may be another thing, but caste basically was never a part of other countries. It was only in India that we have this unique challenge of caste and everything. So that can help you to understand. Fifth is India After Gandhi. So this book I recommend. This was actually recommended by one of my family members, my brother. The thing is that in our education system, we are not told about the history after 1947. So we only know the history till 1947. That is before Gandhi. But what happened after 1947, we actually don't know about that. And when you will start understanding maybe other countries, for example Singapore, like you will find one of the YouTube videos explaining how Singapore became Singapore, how it became so developed. And that in that video, that person starts telling about Singapore from the point it got independence, and then we slowly start understanding how Singapore became Singapore from like a war ridden country and all. But it's very thought provoking that we don't know India, what happened in India after 1947, and we think that we know our country. But how can we know our country if we don't know what happened after 1947? These 75 years, what exactly happened? There are only bits and pieces that are taught in history. This is like an unbiased author had written it, and in this book India After Gandhi, and that will help you understand India and how India actually became India and stayed India, because many people were saying that it will break into small parts or something, but why India is India today. It's one of the things you should understand if you are living in India. So these were the five books. These three books I'm saying to read after college. Focus on your studies and career when you are in college. When you're in college, just Atomic Habits and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Other than that, the other three books, Sapiens, Annihilation of Caste, and India After Gandhi, after college. That's it. So that's the thing I wanted to say. And just final line is that after 5 years, if I meet you, if you meet me, or if I meet you, definitely it will matter that which company you are working in, what your package is, and so on. But these are just indications of your hard work, of your intelligence, and so on. What will matter to me the most is the kind of person you are and the kind of person you become. That is what will matter the most if I meet you after 5 years down the line. So keep that in mind. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for this session, for inviting me. And yeah, you can maybe ask some questions, or you can take this forward from now on.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some students who have submitted their questions through a Google form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the question is how to overcome self-doubt and gain confidence.
Okay. So that is a very good question, I would say. So I will tell you my take on self doubt. First, we need to understand what is self doubt and how it comes into being. Self doubt is like maybe you are worrying if you are actually having that caliber or not. You're doubting your own prowess. Okay. And maybe you're doubting if something is correct or not. So that is another kind of doubt, when you are doubting what the teacher is actually teaching, is this correct or not, what I am reading is correct or not. That's another kind of doubt. But you said self doubt, right? This means that doubting your own self, doubting your own abilities, if I'm not wrong. I have primarily studied Hinduism and Buddhism. So the thing which I found, like one of the monks, Buddhist monks, is that Buddha talks about self doubt as well. The thing is that you can actually not remove doubt completely, he says. Okay, like this can again be challenged, but the general thing which I've learned is, and what I'm trying to tell you, you can think of doubt like there is a puddle of water, and there's mud in that. Okay, this is muddy water, and it's like mixed in completely with water. Okay, so you can think of doubt as this muddy water. So water is like your mind. So doubt in you means mud in water. Okay. What we can do to deal with this self doubt is, what happens to this muddy water? If we keep it like this for few hours, what will happen? The mud will settle down, and you will have this layer of clear water above this mud, right? That's how self doubt, like doubt, works as well. Buddha, or like this Buddhist monk says, that when you meditate, you try to concentrate your mind, you try to calm down all these thoughts that are happening in your mind. Self doubt will always come as like a thought in your mind, but you start meditating, you will start letting this mud to settle down. These thoughts will slowly start like stopping, or ideally should stop, or you are trying to not fight with them. There are various ways to do that, but I'm especially talking about vipassana meditation. Let this doubt to settle down, calm your mind, and there will be always some kind of doubt, there will be mud in this water, but calming down your mind is the best thing that can work. Okay, I doubt whether I'll make it to the destination or not. I have that doubt, but I will not know whether I will reach that destination or not until I reach that destination. Until I reach that destination, the only thing to know whether I will get there or not is to keep trying. Calm down your mind, concentrate on whatever problems that you have, solve that, and that's what we say, come back to the present. Focus what you are having right now. Don't think about the challenges in future. Like, definitely plan for that, but don't keep thinking for 24/7 the problems in future. You have to deal with the present, the problem in front of you, because if you will deal with the problem in front of you, this means that you are also dealing with your future, because your future is nothing but your present, right? When time flows, when you will be in future, at some point of time in your life, the future will be your present. And if you are aware in your present, if your mind is aware in your present, you don't need to worry about, because you will take care of that, because your mindset is to be in the present and focus on the present, right? That's how I think this should be dealt with in general. Yeah, you can. Do you have any doubt, or maybe you can ask another question?
Yes, sir. One more question is there.
Mhm.
Um, how to position yourself beyond your degree for better career options? Opportunity, sorry.
Okay, means you are saying that how do I prepare myself for better career options? The only way I think is to prepare yourself is to keep learning and to keep improving and keep becoming better at whatever thing you are doing. One of the ways is that the kind of friends you are making, or the people you are hanging out with, try to hang out with people who are more intelligent than you, or more genius than you in whatever area, or in general, it can be in general or in the area that you are working it. You can never say that I am the most intelligent person in that field. If you say that, that's the end of it. Always try to associate with someone, or try to be friends or talk with someone who is more intelligent than you, because there will always be someone who is more intelligent than you in a room or in this world, you can say. Or and try to learn from that person. Try to keep your mind open. Try to push your limits of knowledge. Try to push the limits of your skills. That does not mean breaking down your health. It happened in college that when we give so much, our health can break down. Short term, maybe it can work for you. From for the long term, you have to find solutions for that. In general, I would say take these courses. Is there any sponsor, yeah, projects for BTech project? Right now I don't have for my startup, but if I have, I will definitely contact you guys. In my college, in the college, it's your college as well. So in the college, when I was in college, I used to attend a lot of workshops, a lot of AI workshops or ethical hacking workshops or any blockchain workshop. I was a part of clubs. Your college has a very good clubs. Try to become a part of that. Keep learning, keep contributing, and keep doing courses online. See, the thing is that internet is actually very revolutionary in the sense that all the knowledge of the world is available online, right? Maybe there are not some books or something, but many of the things are available online. So you cannot say that there is something which I want to learn but it's not available online. There are chances that it will be available online. Try to do the crash course or course online something and keep improving. That's the only way. Hard work, and without that, I don't think there is any other thing. There is one question, as you told us to read about our Indian history, about caste, some topics. I believe the point is to work for it rather than just gaining knowledge, but implementing it. And you share something you realized and implement it after reading any book. So, what I wanted to say here is that there will be many things that will be affecting you consciously or subconsciously, or you being aware or not being aware. There will be things in life that will be affecting you. Like caste is one of the things is that will affect your life at some point of time or not. Or maybe it is affecting right now, but you don't know. Many of the things people say that it's hidden, the discrimination, maybe some you see caste discrimination is hidden, many people say. And many people that's why don't know that it's happening, but it's happening until we see this news when कोई वो घोड़ी पे चढ़ गया था from this caste and लोगों ने उसे मार दिया क्योंकि वो घोड़ी पे चढ़ गया था, and all these things that are very common that happen in these villages. But what I want to say is, being an educated person, you are in a college and taking education, right? Being an educated person does not just mean that you know about the field in which you are working in, right? For me, it definitely means being socially aware as well. Because tell me the point of taking education then. If you're taking education all your life but you don't know what's happening on ground, what's the reality, then what's the point of your education? How did you contribute to the society? Just take out like a few researches and you see that at the point of death, what were the regrets people had, or what did they think that they should have done and they should have not done. All these regrets, all the researches that you will find is that very few people had regrets that they didn't earn enough money, or they didn't do some AI research or blockchain research or fancy technology they did not try out, or they did not play some game or something. These are kind of not the regrets that they have. The regrets during death that these people have is, did I spend enough time with my family? Did I actually do what I set out to do? What did I do for other people? What did I do for the society? The problems in society and the problems that people face, you cannot solve them if you don't know about them, or you are not aware about them, or you're not thinking about them. So it's not just about you. Your actions definitely affect other people. I'm sitting here in front of you. What I am saying is some way or the other way affecting you all. So my actions matter in some way or the other. In society, this your actions have an impact. Try to figure it out how you want to contribute, how it impacts, can you solve some problems, and so on. So have that kind of mindset. That's after the college, because the real education, The real education, the funny thing which I have realized after reading these books, you can say one of the things that I realized, the real education in life starts after college. Many people think that in college your education will end, और फिर सब चंगा सी सब ठीक हो जाएगा and all things. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but after college, your real education starts. When life throws its problems, when your work throws its kind of unique problems, that's when you actually understand that life is kind of a school in itself and we have to become a student for life. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in various problems. So keep improving, keep educating yourself, as that's what I'm trying to say here. I will tell you one quote that was said by Yuval Noah Harari, who is the great historian of who has written *Sapiens*. What he says is that we study history not to dwell in the past. So historians study history not to dwell in the past. That can be different for different people. But he says, I do not study, or we do not study to the past, to be in the past. We study to understand the present, how things came into being, how from past you can learn, and how you can solve the present problems. Present is nothing but a result of whatever things had happened in the past. Yeah, I think I'm taking a lot of time. You can ask the question as well.
Yeah, sir, one more question. How to deal with digital distractions while studying?
Okay, I guess that was one of the points I wanted to say and I missed it. Really thumbs up to the person who asked that question. So, the best way to deal with it, I will tell you the best way according to me. That might be extreme for many of the people with here. Digital distraction means social media in general, the apps that you have on phone, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, more than WhatsApp, Facebook maybe, all these social media apps becomes a distraction, right? How do you deal with that? Best solution? Don't use it at all. Personally, giving my example, it's not that hard. I'll tell you why. I am not on social media. Okay. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Snapchat. There is an exception. I do use Twitter. I use it for research and work. That's fine. I'm not completely 24/7 on that. Maybe once in a week or something. I'm on LinkedIn, and that's for the job. And sometimes I post once in a month or something there. That's related to work again. In the beginning, I said one line, and you'll understand now why. One of the reasons why I said that line. This session is about helping you to ask questions so that you understand the truth, which will be a part of the solutions to your problems. Let's apply it here. Here I am saying you to not use it at all these social media things. For me, why I do not use it personally is that I know the truth regarding social media and apps. Now, what truth I'm talking about? Since my school days, I used to read newspapers, English newspapers. There, I used to read the results of the researchers, various researchers that has been conducted by various universities, by various PhD or graduates. All these results pointed into one direction. That direction was that social media is toxic for your mind. It is harmful for your mind in general. It increases anxiety, it increases stress, and so on, so on, so on. But that's what newspapers are saying. That's the truth for them, you can say for now. That you don't know if this is the reality or not. Someone else is saying that. Okay, I'm saying if you are a science student, if you are an engineering student, you should start asking questions and start finding the solutions and answers yourself to understand the truth. When I started understanding AI as well, at that time, for me, I took that as the truth that this happens. Personally, I am feeling it and I will not use it at all. So from my school days, I was not on social media, so I was very focused. The truth aspect I want to talk about is that the algorithms that are behind these social media. Let's talk about these algorithms. These are AI algorithms, okay? And these AI algorithms actually suggest you content which you would like to see or you may want to see, because their job is to waste your time, to put it bluntly. Their job is to take maximum time of yours so that they can be used to show you ads, to generate revenue. That's their business model. And these AI algorithms are trained to do exactly that. Like YouTube is also following into that as well. You see one video, and you get a recommendation, you see another video, another video, another video, and another video. 2 hours gone. You're wasting your time. Exactly. But you can definitely use it for better purposes, like seeing educational videos and doing crash courses or learning a new skill there. That's a different thing. But in general, it does waste your time. So the thing would be to be aware that stop, limit its usage. If you are using it too much, Atomic Habits book can definitely help you to change the kind of habit that you have got. Because what happens is that when you do a certain thing again and again and again, that becomes a habit of your subconscious mind. And if even if you don't want to do it consciously, somewhere inside you there is this voice that tells you that if I use it, I will be wasting my time. You don't have control over your mind. You will just give in, the hand will go, and you will pick it up, your phone, whenever it rings, and you will check all those messages and all, and your time will be wasted. This means you don't have control over your mind. You should not be scared, because there are solutions: Atomic Habits, meditation, or maybe just for now just restricting its access. There was like a phone in which we could restrict apps, in which these, in those durations, we cannot use these apps even if we wanted. So making it harder to access these apps is one of the instant solutions that you can find or you can implement. So yeah, digital distraction, it's a very big thing. So the truth I was talking about, right? When you understand the truth, how social media affects or can affect you adversely, then only understanding this truth you can actually start taking actions to change that habit. Otherwise you will be dwelling in that. And one of the biggest things which I recommend not to use social media is because when you use social media, you will be chasing goals which you never had in the first place. Looking at someone's post or looking at someone's maybe image or some kind of post, you will be chasing your wants, which you might want because it taps into your desires. It kind of is tricking you into running for that want thing. But what's the price that you pay? You are being distracted from your needs. The needs is the most important thing, and you need to focus on your needs, not your wants. Wants can come later in life maybe, but needs is what is the most important, and you are being distracted from that. So be aware. One of the, let's like Rancho A, be aware. Yeah. Next question maybe, or if you have any questions right now.
Yeah, that's it. Those were the questions which were mostly asked by the students.
Okay. If anyone has any question, they can ask. Otherwise, I guess the session is ending, right? Yeah, feel free to ask. I'm not your professor and I will not judge you in your language if I say. You can freely ask me, or maybe you can just connect on LinkedIn. I don't use it much, but you can definitely ask a question there if you want later, if not now.
Yeah, so I guess there are no questions more. So will we wrap up the uh, meeting? Yeah. So as we wrap up this amazing session, a huge thank you to Mr. Shantanu Sontakke for sharing your valuable insights and inspiring journey. We truly appreciate your time and guidance. A big shout out to all the participants for your enthusiasm and great questions. We hope you gain useful takeaways for your career. With that, we conclude today's session. Wishing you all the best. Keep learning, stay inspired, and have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Take care. Be kind. Be happy. Bye bye.